Is this working? Yeah, I think it's working. Today, I am going to put music on in the background, and I'm going to put on this album here that I've been listening to a lot lately. I find it really good, and yeah. So see this 54 seconds, or seconds, minutes. This is pretty much exactly how much time I have. So when this album is over, I gotta go. This is maybe a little loud. That's probably good like that. Okay, now, oh, actually, okay, now that I'm done showing you the video, I'll remember to put a link in the description. I don't want to show this anymore now. And let me reopen up my thing here. Yeah, so all I'm doing today is I'm going to do my housekeeping here, where I'm going to set up a dev flow. So the first thing I want to do is make a new repo. Okay. Great. Now also, let's just open up the dev tools. Okay. And then here we'll do, I don't know, I'll just call it code.js for now until I think of a better name. And we'll do this. I wonder if I can change the font size. If I zoom in, it doesn't change this. Well, that's okay. So and then I don't know. Let's just do. And then I think it's like this. And I think I need to do a script like this. Does that work? Okay. Oh, geez, I forgot how to write JavaScript. Man, I always forget how to do this. Is it documents? Oh, okay. Okay, so we did that. Now, let me add another window here. There's so much effort involved in setting up like a thing like this, right? Okay. Now, oh, wait. Okay. Maybe if I do this. Ooh, maybe this will work. Okay. How do you add an SSH key? But this is a public project. Man, everything's got to be difficult. GitLab add SSH key. Okay, preferences. I'm reading some instructions on the right-hand side of the screen that you can't see. On the left-hand side, select oh, hey, SSH keys. Okay, great. So now let me just go find my public key. Don't ask me where that is, but anyway. Oh, man. Ah. Okay. Okay. So now if I do this, hey! Okay, great. Add key. Okay. Okay, great, yeah. Hey, there we go, we got it. Okay, great. So that works, and this kind of works. Next, let's add in... Let's add in what exactly? What's next on my list? So, set up a dev flow for editing JS. Yeah, I kind of did that. Figure out HTML5 saving loading. Okay. Well, HTML5 file API. Actually, let's put this on the right-hand screen because I don't need the terminal anymore. How come this never works? Here we go. Okay. The file interface provides blah blah blah. Okay, let's just put in a little test.txt. This is a file. I gotta figure out blobs. Oh my god. Why is JavaScript like this? Or actually, not just JavaScript, but most languages. Like, oh, why don't you take your blob and convert it into a readable stream? Like, good God, just give me an array of chars. Like, why can't it be that simple? Anyway. Why is this always so extra complicated? An array buffer isn't even an array. It's an array buffer, but it's not even an array buffer. It's a promise that resolves with an array buffer. Like, good Lord. Okay, maybe this is useful. Okay, input. Okay. Now we're making progress here. I don't want multiple. Let me just refresh my memory on. On this. What the heck is 4? Oh, label 4. What the heck? Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's super cool. But they don't use that, so. So input ID equals, I don't know, the file. Type equals file. And what the heck is, oh, pre is monospace. Yeah. Whatever. Then we'll just write that. I really don't care. And oh, what is this query selector? That's pretty handy, actually. Okay. No, actually, I think I'll put that here. What did I call that? Okay. And man, there's a lot of like weird ass JavaScript stuff here that I just don't know what it is. Cannot read properties of null. Oh, I forgot to save this file, I think. Oh, cool. I got some HTML problems here, but whatever. Okay. So now we have file input.files, which is a file list type. Oh, it's just an array. Man, JavaScript even has string interpolation. Oh boy. What if I just do this? Does this work? Ugh. And what on earth? God. How the heck? Promise. Just like, all right. We can figure this out. So var prom equals this, and we'll just do this for now. Okay. Whoops, I forgot to put a breakpoint on here. Okay, so prom is a promise. Fine, I'll look it up. I think you have to use await for promises. It's kind of like in C++ where you do with the async there. JS promises, here we go. Whatever. Whatever, just tell me how to read the damn thing. Oh, God. Fine, I'll read it. We advise you to read using promises, okay? Promises not essentially a process is attach callbacks instead of passing callbacks into the function. Create audio sound file. Hey, I was about to say, like, what's the point? Like, if this works, why on earth would we do that? This convention has several advantages. Common need is to execute 2 or more asynchronous operations back to back, where each subsequent operation starts when the previous operation succeeds with the result from the previous step. In the old days, doing several asynchronous operations in a row would lead to the classic callback pyramid of doom. God, why does this have to be so complicated? Whoops. Hey! Okay, great. We have managed to read a file. Well, we figured out how to load a file. How do you save a file? With that link trick from before, right? Yeah, it just appends it. So actually, let's just do equals here like that. Okay, great. Wow, that's great. We did it. Just get rid of that because it's bothering me. Okay. What's next on the list is saving a file, right? So yeah, let's figure that out. Let me go find that Stack Overflow post. So it's something like this. And so we'll go in here, in here. Whoops. Dude, this Death Brain album is so good. These ads are not good. Just get out of here. Okay. Input type equals button. On click equals save file. Value equals save file. And now we go in here. What did I call this function? Yeah, why did I do that? I never do that. So, I don't know. Const blarg is equal to Hi, this is my file that I generated. And then we will do this. I don't care about this, the default is fine. What the heck is this create object URL? Creates a string containing a URL representing the object given the parameter. Okay. And then okay, I was just Googling something in my other window. We're also gonna do this, right? I may as well show you. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, so this create object URL makes just a URL for this object. I mean, I guess. You know what? Just out of curiosity, let's just console.log it, just for fun. And then a.download equals generated file.txt document.body. I don't think we need to do this, do we? Oh, they already did it. What does set timeout do? Huh, this is a really neat little trick. I mean, I don't know why you need to do this, though. Do they explain it? Alright, what's the problem here now? That didn't do anything. Oh. Now I see. I wish it would just tell me what the problem was. What's the problem? Would you care to tell me? Oh, great. What's the problem? Oh, there's one way to find out. Oh, hey, great. Let me just do this for a second. So that saved the generated file. Hey! Cool. Now, why do we need to do this set timeout? Ah, that's why. Very interesting. Except... What? But they just got finished telling me that this is not set. Oh, because create... Very neat. Yeah, because creating this function here pushes a closure, or whatever it's called in JavaScript. Yeah, interesting. So you don't even need to do this, you can just do that. Yeah, okay. Now, I still don't understand why we can't just delete it right away. Let's just see what happens if we do that. Well, yeah, it seems fine. I really just don't need that file. Okay. Let's just add this into Git, because why not? Figure out, file, saving, loading. Why not? Okay. What's next on my list? Actually, yeah, so I had an idea this morning. For the past couple, it's now been almost like 6 months of this, but every morning I wake up like, I don't know, between 5 and 6, sometimes even before 5. I just don't know why. It doesn't tend to matter what time I go to bed. Although I notice that when I go to bed later, I tend to wake up closer to 7. Anyway, all that to say is usually the first thing I do in the morning is just lie in bed to try and get back to sleep, and I normally can't. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking to myself that, you know, I want this to be like a, you know, user-friendly tool. Now, it won't work on everything, but it should at least work on some things. And I would expect it to work on the chick. Here, let me open it up here so we can see it. And then go in here and do this, and then this, and then I can do this. So let me explain what I'm thinking about doing. I think what I want the user to do interactively is draw the rows themselves. So let me explain what I mean by that. Hold on, let me grab a... Whoa. Whoa. Man, I'm looking at Kuiwoo's website, and like this guy, or I should say this person, just unbelievable work. Where did I see that? Here we go. I'll find it. Here we go. Okay. So now, let me go in here, change this to that. Okay, great. Now, do you see how you know, you can kind of see these rings of stitches? I actually think what I want to do is just have the user draw these rings themselves. By the way, you may be thinking, oh, wait a second, doesn't this tool already exist, the thing that I'm trying to create? In other words, take a 3D object and turn it into a knitting pattern? And the answer is, yes, it does already exist, except this doesn't let you upload your own model. I found the code for this on GitHub the other day, and it's just pre-compiled instructions where it's just saved as a blob of, like, you know, instructions, and this JavaScript applet just renders them in 3D. So yeah, anyway, what I think I want the user to do, now let me go back to that F3D window here. What I want the user to be able to do is, like, you know, they can start and then they can draw the rings themselves, the rings of stitches, and right, they draw all the rows throughout the whole object. Does that make sense? And the whole point of that is to get around the issue of, where is that? Yeah, the whole issue is to get around this issue of, like, let's say that you have a situation like this where you want all of this to be one like knitted band, then this wale edge is much shorter than this wale edge, or they're just generally speaking, all these wale edges have different lengths. So what I want the user to do is to be able to go in, and then they'll start at one point, or maybe start from an, like if it's a tube that they're knitting, they'll start from an edge. So they start from either a vertex or an edge, and then the user basically, well, actually the user might not even do this, but then the computer should just draw the rows right on and completely like ignore the arbitrary separation that's defined by the model polygons. And so well, it's like I say, the user should be drawing these rows themselves. And the user can even draw short rows, but the point is every row is going to have the same length. So if the user clicks on a vertex or an existing row boundary that's already been made, or if they're starting with a tube, like, let me just draw, like, let's say they're starting with a tube. If the user selects this edge of the tube to start from, then, like, I don't expect this to be extremely easy to do, but it should definitely be possible that the computer can automatically start from, let me take a separate color here. Like if the user indicates an edge to start from, whether that be a single vertex or whether it be an edge that was created as part of creating rows, then the computer should be able to, given this edge and a direction, scan through the model and automatically figure out the next row edge, like that. Now, yeah, as you can see here, even just when I started drawing it by hand, there's a little bit of intricacy involved in that we might already have row edges that are kind of parallel, or not parallel, perpendicular, or just, in general, like, yeah. Oh no, the album's over. Oh no, that's right, I forgot. There's a bunch of silence for the credits, but then there's another free song at the end, which I will skip forward to. I've already watched all the credits. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. So this is what I want the user to be able to do, and yeah. This is not easy, but I think it's the right solution. So anyway, all that to say that this morning while I was lying in bed trying to sleep, I was thinking about it, and actually I may not take this approach. I may try this approach, which is much more difficult, but I think more practical. Yeah, so what else is on my list of things to do? Spend time understanding mean value coordinates. Well, I started looking at it, and yeah. So, okay. Let's say that you have a polygon defined by these outer vertices like this, and this paper assumes that they are written in counterclockwise order. then any point on the inside of the polygon, say this V0, can be represented by some combination, some mathematical function involving these outer vertices, and that function is, where is it? This. So lambda I is the weight for each of the vertices around the outside. Where is that picture? I keep losing it. So this V0 is going to be equal to lambda 1 times V1, lambda 2 times V2, lambda 3 times V3, and so on. And these lambda i's are wi over the sum of all the w's. And for each wi, you calculate this function. And yeah. I don't know where this function comes from. The rest of the paper is doing a bunch of math to explain like what it all means, and yeah. So I don't know. I don't really see the point of doing this, honestly. But yeah, we need a way to draw rows and also to draw short rows, because for example, the way I've drawn it here, right? This guy is a short row, and when we get to the bottom here, if we just keep doing this like that, of like equally sized rows, eventually we're going to have a problem where we get to the legs from the front before we get to them from the back, right? And definitely the legs are going to look like this. Right, and we're going to need short rows along the back here. Like, you can imagine that the last row that I've drawn here in green would kind of wrap around here like that, right? So already the front of it is at the legs, and we got to start doing the legs, which means we need a bunch of short rows back here to fill in the back side of the chick, right? You got to fill in all of this. And even the way I've drawn it here, this wasn't absolutely necessary, but just for fun, I imagine that maybe we could also like start a ring for the beak like this. Well, where these head rings meet the beak rings, we have more short rows to deal with, right? So long as there's a way to draw an entire row automatically, starting from a vertex or an existing row, or in the case of this, an outer edge, a boundary edge of the object. We also need a separate, I think it'll be like a separate button on the UI or something called make short row. And basically, I think the way that will work is for a short row, you'll indicate the starting row to base it off of, and then you can select any number of boundary rows. So for example, this one. And so it'll, when it creates the row, it'll start by generating this ring like this, but if the ring ever intersects any of the boundary rows, it'll just stop. And so that would work on the reverse side here. If you already created a row, don't ask me how you already created a row, but anyway, suppose you already created a row for this leg, and you have a row that kind of wraps around like a belt here, around the chick like that. Then what you would do is you would say, create the next row starting from the belt, and make the boundary row this leg and that leg. And then that way it'll just wrap around the back here and stop at the leg. You might need to manually create short rows between the legs as well to make that work, potentially. It's unclear. But yeah, I think I think that's the right solution here. I think um, there are two operations that are really, one is, the generalized operation is create short row, and the special case of create short row is when there are no boundaries, in which case it can just create the whole thing. It can either tie it up in a loop, or for the case of like flat swatches, it just, will stop at the edge of the shape. But yeah. That's what we need to do, is make a way to draw a row starting from a point and given a direction. And that could be tricky. I don't even know like how you would like. Well, okay, that's not true. I say there's just one generalized operation, which is create row, but or create short row, but like we need a way to place the first row. Like there's two ways to create rows. One of them is like start it off, like from just you have no rows already created, and we've got to put a row somewhere. But then the other type of operation is create a row based off of an existing one, right? So here I've imagined that you can start it from a vertex on the shape or a boundary edge of the shape. And that's like, maybe okay. But it might be nice if like you could just click on any point of the shape. Like suppose that this top polygon here wasn't actually a bunch of triangles all arranged to a point. Suppose it was a flat pentagon, but that you wanted to start in the middle. Well, you know what? You'd like to be able to click in the middle, right? And then you would build your edges out like that. So, yeah. I think that would be nice. And then like for these feet down here, I imagine you would probably want to start, I don't really know how you would do that, but I don't know. Maybe this, maybe I would simplify this 3D mesh a little bit, like for the sake of, you know, well, no, maybe not. Like I think if you knit the feet like you would a sock, like you start at the toe here, like you put your cast on stitches in a line here like that, and then you do some short rows for the toe. Then you knit in the round along the edge of the, like along the tube of the foot here. Then you do some short rows for the heel, then knit in a tube and a tube and a tube. Then you would do the whole leg, maybe some short rows up here like that, and then some short rows to fill in the back as you connect both legs together. Then knit in a tube all the way to the top here, some short rows for the top of the head, and then keep knitting in the tube until you get to the beak. So yeah, I think I'm more a fan of having a human in the loop here and not having it automatically tessellate the polygons, because, it's like I say, I want this to be usable by people who don't want to edit 3D models, because, yeah, anyone can learn, except what tools are there for editing 3D models? Well, there's all the expensive AutoCAD ones, which, although the learning curve isn't that bad, like a lot of people just don't have them installed or don't want to install them. And oh yeah, sure, go ahead and use Blender, it's free, except, prepare to spend a year learning how to open a friggin' file. Like, Blender is so complicated. So yeah, I think I want to take this from the point of view, oh shit, I gotta go.